Hello. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a bit peckish and a bit hungry. So let's get on with the cast, shall we? Before I waste away. Um, Me and Susan today are discussing a 1999 movie by Antonia Baird, um, starring Guy Pearce, Robert Carlyle,
Yay!
David Arquette. Who else is in this? Jeffrey Jones. There's a few names in there, and it's all about cannibalism. Really, that's why. Hence, me feeling a bit peckish. I'm having food on my mind.
Yeah.
Um, yes, it's this opening thought for me is this is a very very strange movie. It's not really a horror. What would you call it, Susan?
A little bit of gory fun.
Yeah, but very strange. It's a very strange movie.
It's almost Tarantino level gore, and
Yeah,
and yet it's fun, and it's a western, and it's a
my opinion on this
period
movie.
piece.
Yeah, my opinion on this movie is just all over the place at the moment. This is only the second time seeing it, so shall we opening thoughts then, Susan? Over to you.
Yeah, all right. It's because it's set in like the mid 1800s.
Mm.
I think before the Civil War. Um, it, yeah, the character played by Guy Pearce, Captain John Boyd, had just been part of the Spanish American War, and
Yeah,
he was he had all of his troops had been shot, and he played dead, and while he was covered with body parts and bodies in this dead pile, he started drinking the blood of the people who were above him because it just happened to be running into his mouth.
mm-hmm.
And so that began a thing. And instead of demoting him or whatever, they just sent him out to California, which from Virginia to California was about 3,000 miles. So, he got there and he was a bit on the rough side, but so were everybody else around. And shortly after he gets there, a Scottish guy, ostensibly named Calhoun, comes walking into their Fort Andrews or whatever. What was it called? Anyway, whatever it was called. And they tells him a horrible story, and so they take off for this cave, and the stuff happens at the cave and happens on the walk back to the fort, and and then at the fort everything changes again, and there's a Native American woman there all along going, don't mess with it, don't mess with it, it's Wendigo, it's a Wendigo, it's a Wendigo. And a Wendigo is a creature that if you eat the flesh of that comes into a body through eating the flesh of another, and once it's there, it as the person eats more people, they take the soul, they take the spirit, and they take the strength, and it rebuilds their body. And so, yeah, not too scientific, but then again, it was said before the Civil War, so what can you say? And this is the second period piece that we watched, and so it's really great. And Guy Pearce eats the scenery, but let me tell you who really eats. Robert Carlyle in this, he ends up being revealed as a colonel in the army, not from Scotland, but of Scottish heritage, and his name is Colonel Ives. And Colonel Ives is, I mean, they, after the Captain Boyd shoots him, they make him take his clothes off. And there's a lot of nudity in this, so that's fun. And well, there's some nudity in this, let's just say that. And there's a lot of gore, because there's a lot of people eating other people, and there's a lot of blood and guts and stuff. And some really cool skeleton art in a cave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I enjoy it. And I think that it's not the only story in the Sierra Nevadas about cannibalism. There's the Donner Party, who went over the pass, the Donner Pass area, and went right by all the ski areas there that weren't there then, but they ended up getting trapped in the snow, and then they ended up eating some of the people. So, I mean, there's a lot of actually cannibalism talked about with the Sierra mountain range. And one time when I was driving over in the night, I had a whole bunch of thoughts about cannibalism. And so I'm pretty sure that there's like a spirit there that's like kind of stuck in there. But again, Robert Carlyle is adorable as a guy who's not so clean cut, and he gets his mischief and his joy and his what do you call that he's funny, and it's not, his character isn't at all serious all the way through. I mean, there are serious moments, serious battles, but the character himself has so much joy and joie de vivre and all that stuff,
Really?
Yeah, he likes eating people. So I mean, it's quite a fun thing anyway, but gory as hell. Anyway, go on, Lee. What's your opening thoughts?
Well, yeah, you've sort of built the storyline about when Calhoun arrives at the fort, because there's only 8 of them there. I think it's where the army send all the people they don't want to know. They just send them there, out the way. But when
It's
Calhoun
3,000 miles away from Washington, Virginia.
Yeah, far as possible. When Calhoun arrives, now was this an elaborate plan of his all along, or was it a spur of the moment thing with his cannibalistic thirst starting to rise up again? Because to me, if it was an elaborate plan all along to get them to the cave and kill them all, I don't know how he came up with the idea. Because did he know the fort was there?
I don't know.
No.
He may have, because he was a colonel.
Yeah, I mean, because when he was at the cave, that knife was buried in the ground. So it must have been planned.
Yeah,
That's an elaborate plan.
it was. It was a really elaborate plan.
But you say why take him to the cave? Why not just start there in the fort?
I don't know.
I don't get that. I couldn't. This is what I mean. It's a strange movie.
Yeah,
This is a very strange movie. Especially about cannibal. Anything strange about cannibalism is a bit strange. But Robert Carlyle's portrayal of Calhoun, later Ives, of course. It's when he was spooking out at the cave
that
in front of
thing and
Private Toffler, in front of him, spooking him out. That was intense.
yeah.
So carry on, Susan, a minute. I'll be back in a minute.
The thing that I noticed was the character played by he was trying to mess with the character played by David Arquette Cleaves, and he was messing with Toffler, and Toffler was a man of God. And when Calhoun first showed up, he's like, I am Calhoun, a servant of God. And so he instantly had Toffler hooked. And so he knew how to pull him in and stuff. And so that was great. And the other crazy scene was the scene with Colonel Hart as he comes back. He's killed out by he's killed out by the cave, and then he ends up eating one of the other people who's out there. Perhaps
that's one thing I didn't understand as well. Why bring him back?
I don't know.
Because
they can kill him again.
Yeah, because Ives was killing for food. He had the flesh, he had the bloodlust.
Yeah.
Why pick on Hart and make him come back and convert him into a cannibal? I just don't get that. I just don't. I mean, Hart was the biggest one of the lot. I mean, plenty of meat on him.
Yeah, it's true.
But at the cave, that plan of his was to divide and conquer, wasn't it? 2 in the cave.
Yeah.
Get rid, the Indian and the priest, but I don't understand the Hart business.
Well, it was just that he ended up in the cave, and there was I mean, obviously Ives had left him some meat, and obviously Ives had tried to bring him into, he was making a tribe of cannibals.
Mm.
Like that group in the 90s, Fine Young Cannibals.
Named after a movie, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, it was an interesting scene, that, as I say, with it, where he was spooky with his hands. That was so intense, as I said. And then the next thing, of course, is the death-defying leap by Guy Pearce off the cliff edge.
Yeah, right into trees.
Right into trees.
I mean, that was early base jumping or something like that.
Yeah. But straight into a pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he rolled over with the guy who plays what's his name? Malcolm Merlin? No, what's his name? In
Damien Dark.
Damien Dark.
Yeah, Neil McDonough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, of course he ends up having a little bite in there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he takes a bite out of Damien Dark. So yeah, that was hilarious. I mean, it is funny. You gotta laugh through this. I think that's what it's. I mean,
Yeah,
Antonia Bird makes funny movies.
she did. She's no longer with us.
She did. Yeah, that's right.
She passed away a few years ago.
That's
But
right.
it did confuse me to begin with when he got back to the fort, and then Carlisle turned up as
Colonel Ives.
Colonel Ives, but no one recognised him.
I know.
I'm thinking, hold on. I know Knox was a drunk and he was always out cold, but Martha and Cleves
Yeah.
didn't recognise him. Now I was just assuming, was they there when Ives turned up? Calhoun turned up.
A little bit. Yeah.
Was they? Because, or did they go out before he turned up?
Well, Martha was out.
Hart sent Cleves and Martha out for supplies, didn't they?
Yeah.
He said he'd be three days. So did Calhoun turn up after that? Or was it before?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So maybe that's, yeah, because I was thinking, why don't they recognise him? But I mean, David Arquette as well as Cleves, he didn't have really much to say or do in this, but his character was brilliant. He ended up with a bloody end as well.
Yes.
And I'd like to say thank you, David Arquette, for liking one of our tweets on Twitter as well.
Aw.
He liked our little tweet about Ravenous the other day. So,
How cool.
yes. So thanks for that. Yeah, and then as I say, when Colonel Ives comes back, he's playing with Boyd, isn't he?
Yeah.
When nobody's there, he's there in his face saying, "Yes, I did this, blah blah blah," like this. Can you smell the blood? But when he's with other people, he's just totally in denial of what he's saying about it. Mind games.
Yes.
It's it was that them scenes were brilliant as well. Just him and Guy Pearce just facing off.
I know.
So,
It was another sort of bromance, sort of you kept expecting, more to. It was a bit like Brokeback Mountain, but with a whole other thing.
well, I was expecting out by the end of it. Well, when both of them die in the bear trap, I was expecting one of them to kiss each other.
Yeah.
in the last thing they did.
I agree. I totally agree.
Or bite one of the cheek. But I mean, that was a good fight scene. So, anything else, Susan?
No, I think that the cave scene has got to be the coolest. I mean, that's where all the gifts are from. There's the one where he sits up and he's smiling.
Yeah.
Shot, and then there's the one where he's like, "That's so annoying." Anyway, like there's all these fun little gifts from that cave scene.
Was that explained when he got shot? Or he just sits up?
Because he was already eating the people.
See, this is it. I think it's a bit confusing, this movie, for me. There's too many questions for me. Because I thought, is he wearing armor? Yeah.
No, in the other movie that we just reviewed,
He had the Bible, didn't he? There?
Shot in the Bible got it, but this he was shot and he just sat right back up.
Yeah. So when he in the later fight though, when he paints the
The cross
blood,
on his,
the blood cross on his. That's an iconic scene there.
yeah.
But the fight there, and I mean, I know I would say that the scenery as well, the setting of it. I mean, it's just snow, but it's brilliant. The way where it's set and the period of it.
Yep.
Oh, there he is. There's your loved one.
Yep.
So, you got nothing else to say about this? Should we go to final
Weirdest
score?
Western I've ever seen.
Is it a Western?
Kinda.
I know it's based in the West at the certain time Westerns were set, but is it a Western? There's no stagecoach or Indians going woo, 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 is there?
No, but there were, what is this? It says Westerns. Anyway, whatever, wherever your video store placed it back in the 90s.
I know what, we'll just say if there's a cowboy hat and a horse in the movie, it's a Western. How's that?
Okay. All right, so this isn't a Western, but it is set in the West, and there's something weird about the Sierra Nevadas and cannibalism. And so, yeah, that's a big part of it. And Robert Carlyle eats the scenery and eats the people.
Yeah, that's what else can you say about it?
And he's a really good cook. He makes a really good stew out of heart.
No, was it Knox?
Oh yeah, it was Knox.
It was Knox, yeah. Was it when he offered to? Do you need me to give you a hand? No, it's all right, but I'm sure you'll be able to help later on.
You'll be. Yes, exactly.
I mean, that bit did come as a surprise where Hart was still alive.
I know.
That just came left field. I thought, what?
The only other person that I thought would get up is the is what's his name? Private Reich. I just thought that he would stand right up after that.
Yeah.
But he hadn't eaten anybody yet, so I guess not. I guess it all depended whether or not you were going to live or die is whether or not you were able to eat somebody.
Which this one I couldn't get my head round.
And I think that's like the thing about Wendigo is, and they talk about it sometimes. There was some episodes of Supernatural that had it in it.
Or Wendigo. I mean, I always thought. I mean, I've always seen Wendigos in other things, as you said, Supernatural and other spooky programs, movies. But it was sort of like a giant man-like creature, wolf bear creature, isn't it? A Wendigo.
Yeah.
So this is what when they kept saying Wendigo, I'm thinking, all right, so they're going to transform into something. But no, it was a totally different story of the Wendigo.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what is true. I don't know if that's the true story in this movie about Wendigo, or has it been totally rehashed for the movie? I don't know. But it makes good viewing.
It does. There were so many cool. Yeah, and the bear trap at the end was it was interesting that the cavalry showed up right afterward and started eating the stew right away. So you knew that even though they killed off the Wendigo once, that it had jumped again.
It's weird. I mean, that's it. You say with the bear trap. It was lucky that Boyd saw the bear trap in that shed earlier on
Yeah.
and set it up. But as I've said there, laying in the bear trap with Boyd, very sneaky.
Very sneaky.
So, anything else you'd like to say about this Ravenous?
Yeah, you gotta love Colonel Ives. You gotta love that whole
You've got to bring forth tribute to Robert Carlyle.
yeah, you have to bring your strength to Robert Carlyle, because he's such a woobie.
They'll just nibble on your ear and then bite it off.
Yeah.
So, right, we'll go to final third score then, shall we?
Okay.
Oh, you, Susan.
All right. Well, I really like it, and it is one of his most gory films that he's ever done. It's a toss up between whether or not this one or 28 Weeks Later is which one is gorier, but this one's pretty gory, and it's got kind of that Tarantino type thing going on, like everybody stuck in one place gets killed by one of the other people in the place, and Guy Pearce does a good job, and so do all the other actors. Yeah. And Robert Carlyle, he chewed the scenery, so that was super amazing, and I'll give it 10 rib steaks out of 10.
Oh, see, I'm still peckish. It's an enjoyable movie. I love the settings of it. The sceneries are brilliant in this. Costumes are brilliant. Acting, you can't fault the acting in this. But for me, it left me with more questions and pondering: was this that? Was that that? How, why did that happen? Was this a plan all along? All that. So I was a little slightly confused with certain things in the movie, but it's still enjoyable. So I'm going to give it 9 meaty stews out of 10.
Very good.
So that is our little review of Ravenous. You guys out there, check the movie out. If not, just to look at Robert Carlyle, I suppose.
Just to look at Robert Carlyle.
If those had a way, that was it. Just look at Robert Carlyle and just stroke his face like that.
Yep, that's right. It's very good.
Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of the movie. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and of course we're on YouTube, where this is going to be put, and we'll be gathering dust till the end of time. Hey, we'll be there when we're long gone. But if you want to be in our cast, in our group, please leave us a message. So we're on all their social medias. You know the names of the members, what appear every now and again. Just get in touch with one of us or me personally, and we'll get you on. All we ask of you is to be 18, have Zoom, a working camera and microphone, and that's it. And you're good to go. Because 18, because sometimes our discussions get a bit fruity.
Yes.
So that's why we like to, just have that age limit there. So, and I think, oh no, there's one more thing. When you do subscribe to us, press the notification bell button like that, and every time we put up a video, you'll get notified. So you'll never ever miss out our fantastic output. I mean, it's fantastic output because we talk about everything: movies, TV, cult, modern, audio dramas, animation, anything, out, and it's not always the mainstream stuff we talk about. It's
This-
things like
What
Ravenous.
this weekend sure wasn't.
No, I mean this is not a mainstream Hollywood blockbuster.
No.
No, so and we like doing that because it gets this out there, and people think, "Oh, I've never heard of that. I'll go and watch it." So that is all we can say for now. I think I can't think of anything else. I think I've done all the things yet. So until next time, remember, stay safe, keep being fed well. Keep the nutrition going because you've got to keep fit and healthy. A good meaty
Protein
stew,
level.
your protein level up. Yeah, a good meaty stew always helps. Have some friends around for dinner,
So to speak.
so to speak. So until next time, be seeing you.